proposal as a way to fund CO2 cuts. Talk to us a little about that and how rich nations might tap into that special currency.
Yeah. Well, the Copenhagen, let's face it, was a bust. It was a disappointment. But I think that the global warming or the climate change doesn't go away, and we have to deal with it. And it's, of course, very difficult now with each country under pressure at home to make any large grants or financing to the less developed world. So I put forward a plan that they can use the special drawing rights they received in the last distribution, for which they have no use because their credit is good enough, to lend it back to the IMF. And then the IMF can use it to set up a green fund that would finance investments for clean energy and infrastructure, agriculture, and so on. And then the IMF would be responsible for paying the interest. And that could be then financed either by the developed world picking up that cost, which is actually tiny, through their overseas development assistance programs, or the IMF, or they could authorize the IMF to use its gold reserves to pay the interest. And the amounts involved are insignificant, and as long as the countries that lend it to the IMF have the IMF as a counterparty, there is no credit.
Well, George Soros goes on in the interview how they're going to continue getting our property, they're going to continue coming after our land, they're going to continue to try to set up a global dictatorship that decides who can have a business, who can't. And Austin is the crown jewel. They're hiring former Pentagon officials, black ops, it's in the paper. Oh, the black ops commander, CIA black ops, and psych warfare is running the program. I mean, hellish inspectors coming into our houses, brainwashing our kids. They mean business, Bob Chapman.
They certainly do, and they've never meant anything but business, and they're not going to give up easy. And as you can see, they're trying to bypass legislation through various means to implement this global warming, climate change, taxation model, and they're going to continue to do it as long as we let them.
Now, Bob, when we went to break, you were starting to get a little bit into how much trouble they're in and what's going to happen with the economy. I mean, they wanted to implode it to consolidate it. That's in the Goldman Sachs documents. But you're saying this has gotten out of hand for them. The greediness is they've kind of overgorged themselves on our blood.
I think that's true. And I don't know what they're going to do next. They're either ready to pull the plug or they're going to have to reinflate again. And I don't know which, and I don't think anybody else does for that matter. All we can do is guess. But this is the smallest amount of money and credit that I've seen in a long, long time by a multiplicity of countries. So this is centrally planned. This is not coincidence. It's just like the comment and hearing that's going on in created by the administration to see what the public reaction is going to be to government issuing annuities for your retirement plans.
That's right. They're saying they're going to take your 401k or your pension. This is mainstream news. I told you 4 years ago they were going to do it. And they're going to tax it and manage it for you, Bob. You're not going to be allowed to have your own bank account. Not going to be allowed to. They're now saying, this is, again, federal regulation. They're saying that money markets aren't insured. Stay there, Bob. With no evidence. I mean, they're really getting desperate now in testimony, Bob Chapman.
Oh, they certainly are. And I noticed the president came out and said, we're not putting those missiles and radar stations 35 miles away from Kalanenburg, well, the Russian city that's nearby, And this is the exact opposite of what the previous administration said. They had to have the missiles and the radar because of Iran, and now the United States government is admitting that that wasn't the case. Our previous president lied, and it's really because we don't trust the Russians.
Well, I mean, what's incredible about this is, on record, the big banks, the central banks, the kingpin banks, not your Mayberry bank folks, but the big global banks, they engineered this whole thing on purpose in public, and to now have conspiracy theories about how the Russians did it is just asinine. They are taking over the major highways for toll roads. We're fighting them on that. They just rechange the name and go and say they've canceled it and then go ahead with it. They say, okay, we won't put a toll road there, and then they just do it. I mean, how long can they get away with this seizing everything? It shows they're going for broke pretty much militarily, to where they just keep denying as they keep doing it. And now they're coming in saying they're going to seize all our major energy locally in every major city and have environmental inspectors in our houses. And $2.6 billion in Austin alone of new taxes in the next 3 years. I mean, my God, they are just going wild.
That's right, and it's up to people at the local level to stop them. I mean, it's their cities, their towns, their counties, and their states that are being intruded upon. Their sovereignty collectively is being misused by these people. I mean, where do these people come from? Get out of here. Don't do that. We don't want you. Do you hear that in Austin?
Well, the public thinks they're going bankrupt now. Just wait. And again, that's the plan, isn't it, Bob? It
certainly is. We got 40 states on the edge, and 3 of them are really in trouble. And of course, California is the number one victim, which has been coming for years. I lived there for 36 years. I left because they said in 1994 they're going bankrupt. It's over. And, of course, it took a little bit longer than I thought, but it's over. There's no way they can get out. They're going to have to cut pensions and salaries and have layoffs, and they're going to have to get rid of their illegal aliens.
Bob, we've only got a minute and a half left. When they make the federal declarations, which they've already made, that they're going to not insure money markets, which are savings accounts, and that they're going to take people's pension funds, but the government will keep it for you and give you part of it. I mean, do they think the public's going to put up with that?
Well, they're bringing us closer to revolution, I'll tell you that. We either take over with new people in the House and the Senate and get 1207 passed as part of the appropriations bill, or it's over. They will get it in the streets, and they will not survive. Believe me, they don't stand a chance. And our military is not going to shoot us. Believe me.
Well, that's the good news, Bob, is the elites have for the last 4 years all been moving their main homes to remote islands. And so they may just be robbing us and leaving a base here hoping they're going to win.
Well, I'll tell you, going to a remote somewhere is not the answer, because today it's so easy to track people down unless you're really an expert. It's not like after the Second World War and all those Nazis were hiding all over the world. This is a different thing, and they're not going to get away with it.
TheInternationalForecaster.com. Get a free digital copy online there at the site. Bob, always great talking to you. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you, and thanks, everybody, for listening. Bye-bye.
Take care. We'll see you next Friday. Okay.
It is the 29th of January, 2010. And the month is over for the business weeks, and coming back on Monday will be February 1st. And again, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and you're listening to Financial Survival. 1-800-375-4188 is our telephone number here at Discount Gold and Silver Trading, 1-800-375-4188 for all your gold and silver coin needs. Visit our website at discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. That is discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. And if you have any questions for the program, you can direct those to discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com. And we do have quite a few questions left over from Wednesday, but that shouldn't keep you from sending your question today. Discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com. You can use that email address for questions for the program. And Gellert, if you have any questions regarding your gold and silver coin investments, use that email address, please. Gold today. Here we go again. Down 4 at 1,082. Down 4 cents for silver, 16.23. We have platinum down 7 at 15.07, and down 3 at $421. And strength on the dollar, and we have Robert Chapman joining us from the International Forecaster.